All right, let's just jump right into this explainer. We're skipping the long intros today because, honestly, we've got a massive, completely fascinating engine of education to unpack. In an era where global food security and these incredibly complex supply chains dictate international markets, you might wonder, where does the real foundational innovation actually happen? Well, today we're looking directly at the University of Sargodha. It's sitting right smack in the heart of Pakistan's citrus-producing belt. But listen, this isn't just some story about a local regional school. No, this is about a century-old institution that has somehow evolved into this modern powerhouse of research, agriculture, and social engineering. It's literally quietly reshaping an entire province and connecting local soil straight to global markets. Okay, so let's wrap our heads around this for a second. 500,000. That's not a library book count, okay? That is the university's worldwide cumulative alumni network since its earliest days. 500,000 people. That's enough to fill a massive sports stadium multiple times over, across the entire globe, who owe their academic foundation to this single institution. When we talk about scale, when we talk about real impact, this is the foundational metric that shows just how incredibly deep the roots of this university really go. It means their influence doesn't just stop at the campus gates, right? It extends into laboratories, corporate boardrooms, and agricultural fields all over the world. Which perfectly tees up the central mystery we're going to unravel in this explainer. How exactly does a single university power an entire region's economy? I mean, how does that work? Because the University of Sargodha isn't just sitting in some ivory tower, totally isolated from the real world. Actually, scratch that. It's the exact opposite. Its campus is directly hardwired into the global agricultural export market. To really get this institution, we have to understand how its lecture halls and its laboratories are literally feeding the local economy and completely challenging the traditional status quo of higher education in developing nations. So the answer actually lies in this concept called precision agriculture. And guys, this is where the magic happens. The university manages this highly specialized, completely virus-free citrus nursery. By utilizing super-targeted research and advanced technology, they are directly improving crop yields and the quality for local farmers. Just think about the real-world stakes here for a second. Access to these resilient, virus-free citrus varieties, developed by university researchers, mind you, can literally mean the difference between a totally devastating harvest and massive export wealth. The specific agricultural research directly fuels the local farmer's ability to export quinoas, which, if you don't know, is a premium type of mandarin orange. It's completely transforming Sargodha's entire economic landscape, a total game changer. And the coolest part? They actually celebrate this fusion of science and commerce right on campus. The annual Citrus Festival is this premier event hosted by the university. Now, historically, keeping academic researchers and working farmers in completely separate silos has been a massive, massive hurdle in developing economies. But this festival, it brilliantly bridges that gap. It brings international researchers and local industry leaders into the exact same room. The university doesn't just produce the science here, it acts as this crucial mediator, right? Facilitating trade discussions and actively advising provincial agricultural boards. It's literally bringing the lab to the farm. Now, if we trace this evolution back a century, it reveals a seriously fascinating journey. It started incredibly humbly back in 1916. We're talking about the O'Brien Islamia High School. Then, it evolved into De Montmorency College in 1929, later moving and becoming Government College Sargodha in 1963. And then finally, the big moment. In 2002, the government of Punjab granted it an independent university charter. It's just this remarkable narrative of growth, going from a tiny colonial-era high school serving just a handful of local kids to this massive degree-awarding public university that's literally shaping national policy. But here's the thing. How do they actually manage that kind of explosive growth today? Well, recently, the university went through a massive brand cleaning phase, and they made this really difficult but honestly brilliant choice. They decided to shift away from their old model, which heavily relied on private, affiliated subcampuses. The logic here was super simple. Abolish those external branches so you can guarantee absolute quality control. Now, this new model intensely focuses on rigorous internal constituent colleges, like the Sargodha Medical College and the University College of Agriculture. Prioritizing these tightly controlled internal research centers has just dramatically elevated their academic quality and their global reputation. Now, because they are known as the citrus capital engine, you'd probably assume they only focus on agriculture, right? I mean, I would. But actually, US operates over 22 major departments across 7 core faculties. And yeah, while the Faculty of Agriculture is world-renowned, their Faculty of Pharmacy is actually one of the top-rated in all of Punjab.
Plus, their pure sciences, engineering, and IT programs are equally robust. It is a truly multidisciplinary academic environment that just completely refuses to be boxed into a single specialty. They really cover the whole shebang.
And at the end of the day, everything they do is anchored by their core institutional mission, knowledge for all. And look, this isn't just some catchy slogan they slapped on a brochure. As a public sector university, their primary fundamental goal is to provide accessible, high-quality education to the incredibly diverse demographic of the Punjab province. In a world where higher education can so often feel like this elite privilege, they exist to ensure that world-class research and learning opportunities are available to anyone with the drive to learn. They are actively, every single day, challenging the socioeconomic barriers of the region. And you can see this commitment to accessibility powerfully reflected in their fee structure. It's actually really clever. By splitting the student body into a regular morning shift and a self-supporting evening shift, they're able to maintain extreme affordability. Depending on the program, whether it's natural sciences, business, or pharmacy, the fees range roughly from 35,000 to 95,000 Pakistani rupees per semester. Now, put that into perspective. That is a stark contrast to those massive, highly expensive urban universities in Lahore or Islamabad. This subsidized framework acts as a massive engine for social mobility. It's literally opening doors for tens of thousands of students who otherwise might be totally priced out of a degree.
Okay, but logistically, how do you physically get 26,000 students to class every single day across a sprawling district? It requires a massive logistical feat, and honestly, it all boils down to the number 40. The University of Sargodha operates a dedicated fleet of over 40 buses, creating one of the largest transport networks in the entire region. Just think about the sheer logistical chaos of moving a small town's worth of people every single morning. They blanket the entire Sargodha district and the nearby towns. It functions almost like an independent municipal transit system, but exclusively for education. It's absolutely wild. So you step off that bus and onto the 100-acre main campus, and you instantly step into this highly disciplined culture. There is a very strict Monday uniform policy, which is totally designed to maintain professional decorum and really foster a sense of equality. You'll see this visually striking sea of male students in formal blue shirts and ties right alongside female students in pink shirts and scarves. And if you wander over to the law department, strict black and white formal suits. At the medical college, mandatory white lab coats. It creates this incredibly unified professional campus environment that's preparing students for the corporate and medical worlds from literally day one. And that discipline, it extends super deeply into their daily operations, where the campus actually functions as its own mini-city. They've got these incredible, surprising microeconomics going on. For instance, they operate their very own on-campus Kushab mineral water plant. It provides high-grade water to everyone, sure, but it also acts as a live research facility. They also run FM 98.2 and US TV, which is essentially a full-blown media house for student training. Plus, they host cultural hubs like the Lincoln Corner in partnership with the US Embassy. Listen, these are not just your standard student amenities. They are living laboratories. They perfectly bridge that tricky gap between classroom theory and real-world application. And let me tell you, the results of this rigorous hands-on environment, they are absolutely spectacular. The university produces over 1,500 research papers annually in internationally recognized impact factor journals. Now, for a regional university, that is a massive output. It completely proves that they aren't just, teaching existing knowledge out of outdated textbooks. No, they are actively generating new, vital scientific data at a highly competitive global pace. They are significantly contributing to the worldwide academic conversation. But what makes this research output so compelling is how it balances two completely different worlds. On one hand, you have their deep, tangible local roots. We're talking about operating the DHQ teaching hospital, which serves the everyday medical needs of the city, and running those local experimental citrus farms we talked about. But on the other hand, their global ambition is just staggering. Through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, they are partnering with institutions like Lanzhou University in China to pioneer dryland agriculture innovations. I mean, think about that. It's an incredible leap from local citrus farming right into international, cutting-edge agricultural diplomacy. And all of this hard work, it is culminating right now. If we look at their 2026 milestones, UOS has officially secured a spot in the global top 1,500 of the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. And even more impressively, their highest marks come in global impact rankings, specifically for zero hunger and quality education. For an agricultural powerhouse, scoring high in zero hunger means their research on crop resilience and those virus-free yields, that's being recognized globally as a legitimate, powerful weapon against food insecurity. They aren't just studying problems, they are actively helping solve major critical global challenges.
So we've seen how they completely transformed from a tiny colonial high school into this global top 1,500 research powerhouse. It's been quite the ride, but as the University of Sargodha continues to scale its global rankings, expand its agricultural footprint, and graduate literally tens of thousands of skilled professionals, you really have to ask yourself, how will this citrus capital engine reshape the future of South Asian higher education? It's a profound question, and definitely one worth pondering as we watch this incredible institution continue to grow and just completely challenge the limits of regional education. Thanks so much for joining this explainer. Keep questioning and keep learning.